Our Sunday, Monday program is quite spectacular in its sound world. We start with Ravel, Introduction and Allegro. Ravel wrote not a lot of chamber music. In fact, quite a few pieces. There's a violin sonata, there's a duo, a piano trio, a string quartet, and this piece, the Introduction and Allegro. So only 5 pieces. This one being an unusual ensemble, not a piano trio, not a string quartet, but in this case, kind of a miniature orchestra in Ravel's hand. We have a wind section of flute and clarinet. We have a string quartet, and more than anything else, we have a harp. And in essence, this is really a kind of miniature harp concerto. This is one of the major pieces in the harp repertoire. Every harpist plays this piece. And interestingly enough, when the Chamber Music Society of Lincoln Center had done their first 20 years, they put out a survey to the audience trying to see which were the audience's favorite pieces. And number 2 on that list is Ravel's Introduction and Allegro. It's quite easy to see why that's the case when you hear it. And it came in an unusual circumstance for Ravel. Ravel was fastidious, compulsive, and very slow at writing music, except for this piece. This piece was commissioned, in fact, by a harp manufacturer in Paris, and Ravel had planned to go on a boat trip, and therefore had exactly 8 days before the boat trip in which to write this piece, which he did. And my sense of it is that having jettisoned the normal framework, the fastidiousness, the compulsive working out of things, and simply letting this music come out of him as quickly as possible, I think it hit a spot which is really instinctive and more directly impactful in its emotions. A new piece by the American composer Elizabeth Ogonek. I first heard about Elizabeth Ogonek, I would say exactly 14 years ago, because we were starting our Young Composers program, and I was looking for young composers, emerging composers of particular talent, and came across Elizabeth, who I found to be really exciting. She has a kind of imagination and a very personal voice of her own that is quite impactful on audiences. This is always very dramatic music with imaginative sounds you haven't heard before. And I'm really looking forward to the premiere of this new piano quartet, which we commissioned. Following intermission, we have one of the great monster pieces of the chamber music repertoire, Brahms's Clarinet Quintet. Brahms actually had decided to retire from composing, which I find quite fascinating because it's not like an office job, and it always has made me wonder what brings one to the idea that there is no more music inside of you that needs to get out. But nonetheless, he came to that stage, and then something occurred, which was he heard a clarinetist. He went specifically to listen to this clarinetist that he had heard about, and he became so enthralled with the way this person played, the sounds that were coming out of this instrument, that he came out of his brief retirement and wrote 4 incredible pieces for the clarinet. The largest and most significant one being this Clarinet Quintet. It is a massive work, 4 movements, and uses the clarinet unlike previous clarinet quintets. I'm thinking particularly of Mozart and Weber. There is no outward virtuosity involved. This is all about deep, lyrical, beautiful melodic music, and very rich in its inner beauty, and leaves one feeling that you have heard the entire world of Brahms.